Students, now in this session I will explain sum number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of question number 2 of exercise 13.2 chapter exponent and power. Fine, so in question number 4 we have 3 into 7 square into 11 to the power 8 by 21 into 11 cube. So most of the numbers are in the exponential form. Even this 3 also is in exponential form, as because it is carrying 1 as a power, and we cannot break 3, 7, 11, 11 because they are all prime numbers. But obviously we can expand this number, isn't it? We can expand this number. So in place of 21, what we can write? If you prime factorize it, then after prime factorization what we will get? So 21 is what? 3 into 7. So in place of 21 we can write 3 into 7. So next step, 7 square. We do not write, we are not supposed, you will not write 3 to the power 1, okay? You will take that if no exponents is given on any number, that means the number is carrying 1 as an exponent. In place of 21 we will write 3 into 7 into 11 to the power. Now these two numbers are very similar to each other, isn't it? 3 and 3, so we'll cancel these two numbers. Okay, now we'll separate the exponential values with same base. Okay, that means we'll separate these two because they're carrying the same base, and even we'll separate these two also. I think it is 3, sorry. Now as because these two exponential form are carrying the same base and they are in the division form, so we subtract the powers, isn't it? As we have learned. So 2 minus 1, same thing with this, 8 minus 3, we subtract the powers, so answer would be 7 into 11 to the power 5. 8 minus 3 is 5. So we have to give our answer in the exponential form. So the final answer of sum number 4 is 7 into 11 to the power 5. Okay, now let's move on to sum number 5. So sum number 3 we have, in numerator we have 3 to the power 7, and in denominator we have 3 to the power 4 into 3 to the power 3. So there is no such number that we can expand. This is already expanded in the simpler form. So in the numerator we have an exponential form, that is 3 to the power 7. But in denominator we have two exponential form, and they are carrying the same base, and in between them there are into sign is there. So when the exponential form carries the same base and into sign is there, what we do with the powers? We add the powers, isn't it? So 3 to the power 7 by 3, 4 plus 3. So the answer would be 3 to the power 7 by 3 to the power 7. Now you see the numerator value and the denominator value are very similar to each other. So what we'll do? We'll cancel it. Okay, so your answer would be 1. Okay students, now let's move on to sum number 6. Yes, sum number 6 is 2 to the power 0 plus 3 to the power 0 plus 4 to the power 0. Now there is one more very important law for exponents, that is if any base is carrying 0 as a power, the value would be always 1. Always remember this, that a base which is carrying whichever, if it is in the minus form, if it is in the fractional form, decimal form, fine, the base could be in any form. But any base which is carrying 0 as an exponential value, then the answer would be what? 1. Always 1. So this is a very, very important law of exponent. So according to this law, what will be the answer of this? 2 to the power 0 is what? 1. Because anything which carries 0 as a power, the answer will be 1. 3 to the power 0 is what? 1. 4 to the power 0 is what? 1. So if we add this all, we get the sum as 3. So 3 is the required answer of sum number 6. Let's move on to sum number 7. So sum number 7 is very, very similar to sum number 6. Only the difference is now this time they have given into sign. So as we know that anything to the power 0 is 1. We have just studied this. So 2 to the power 0 would be what? 1. We will put into sign. 3 to the power 0 is what? 1. And 4 to the power 0 is also 1. So the answer would be 1. 1 into 1 into 1 is 1. Okay. So now let's move on to sum number 8. Sum number 8 is also very similar, but you have to be careful with it. Okay. So now 3 to the power 0 is what? 1. 2 to the power 0 is what? 1. Put it inside the bracket. 5 to the power 0 is also 1. Okay. So 1 plus 1 is what? 2. into 1. So your answer is 2. Fine. So these are very important sums. Now let's move on to sum number 9. Okay, now this is sum number 8, number 10, 2 to the power 8 into a to the power 5. In the denominator we have 4 to the power 3 into a to the power 3. So whenever you see any composite number is carrying a power, you always try to break this. Fine. Always try to break this. Now, what we can write in place of 4? So if you do the prime factorization, 2, 2, 2, 1. So in place of 4, what we can write? 2 into 2. Or if you have to write in the exponential form, then we can write 2 square. Fine. So in place of 4, we can write 2 square. So in the next step, what we can write? 2 to the power 8 into a to the power 5 upon, now this time you have to be very careful. You see 4 is also carrying 3 as a power. Fine. So now forget about this 3. Fine. You just concentrate on 4 first. Now 4 can be written as what? 2 square. So I will write this 2 square. So in place of 4 I have written 2 square. Now as since 4 is also carrying 3 as a power, so how to write this? Put a bracket and then write 3. So in place of 4 I have written 2 square and 3 after giving the bracket you write. Okay, that means a to the power 3. Now 2 to the power 8 into a to the power 5. By power law is what? We have to multiply the powers. That is 6 into a to the power 3. Now we'll separate the exponential form with the same base. That means these two are carrying the same base and these two carrying the same base. So 2 to the power 8 into 2 to the power 6 into a to the power 5 by a to the power 3. Now they are in the division form. So in division, what happens with the powers? We subtract the powers. So 8 minus 6 into a to the power 5 minus 3. Okay, so what is the answer? 8 minus 2 is what? 2. So 2 to the power 2. And 5 minus 3 is what? Again 2. So a to the power 2. So this is your required answer. Okay, so let's move on to sum number 10. So this is another very interesting sum, that is question number 10. So inside the bracket we have two exponential value which are in the division form. Find the numerator is carrying 5 as a power and denominator is carrying 3 as a power, and they are carrying the same base. Fine, so what we do with the powers? We subtract. So in the next step, what we can do? A 5 minus 3, put it inside the bracket, into a to the power 8. Now what is the answer of 5 minus 3? That is a to the power 2 into a to the power 8. Now again these two exponential values are carrying the same base and they have multiplication sign in between. So what we do with the powers? We add. So that means 2 plus 8. So your final answer is 10. Okay, so it is very easy. Now let's do sum number 11. Now question number 11, we have in the numerator we have 4 to the power 5 into a to the power 8 into b to the power 3. If no sign is in between, that means into sign is there. Okay. In the denominator we have again 4 to the power 5. So 4 to the power 5, 4 to the power 5 are same. Absolutely same. So when you see any same values are there, so you can cancel this like this. Okay, and a to the power 5 into b to the power square. Now what we have to do, we'll separate the exponential value with the same base. So that means what we have to write, that is a to the power 5 upon, sorry, not 5, 8, a to the power 8 by a to the power 5. They are carrying the same base, into b to the power 3 by b to the power 2. Okay. So as these two exponential form are carrying the same base and they are in the division form, so what we do with the powers? We subtract. So that means a 8 minus 5. Same thing we'll do with this, b 3 minus 2. That means a to the power 3 and b to the power 1. We do not write b to the power 1. b means b to the power 1. So this is our required answer. That is a cube b. Okay. So now let's do the last sum of today's session, that is sum number 12. Now sum number 12 is also very interesting. So we'll first try to solve the bracket, whatever is there inside the bracket. Okay, then finally we'll open the bracket. But what is there inside the bracket? You see there are two exponential values, 2 to the power 3 into 2 to the power 1. If no power is there, what I said, you will consider the exponent as 1. So these two exponential values are carrying the same base, into sign is in between. So what we do with the powers? the add. So that means 3 plus 1, give the bracket. Okay, so 3 plus 1 is what? 4. 2. Now which law we'll use? Power law. That means we have to multiply the powers. That is 2. 4 into 2, that means 2 to the power 8. So your final answer is 2 to the power 8. Okay students, thank you. God bless you all and stay blessed.